Now let's move on to looking at modulation, which is done using these modulators in the lower half here. We'll start by looking at the envelopes. You've got 3 of these, and then we'll move on to the LFOs alongside, where there are 4. Envelope 1 is hardwired to the level. So, for example, if I adjust the envelope parameters, which I can do by dragging around these points here, you can hear the amplitude changes accordingly. So at the moment, it's just an on-off gate-like function. So basically sustained while I hold down notes and just stops when I let go. I'll just change it to a slightly more pleasant waveform by going to basic shapes and then selecting maybe a triangle wave. Take it down an octave. Maybe go for a square wave instead. Just roll off a bit of that top end. So yeah, at the moment, it's purely sustained. If I drag down this sustain level here, just by going up and down on this third point, you can see we could turn it into just a very brief decay. So by going up and down there, what was happening is occasionally, by the way, if you can't move this, if you're dragging around going, why can't I come up? You'll notice it's because if I go left and right there, you can see the release dial changing below. So I'm changing the release time, not the sustain, which is what I was wanting to change there. So yeah, coming up and down with the dot there changes the sustain, so the level that you get while I hold down notes. Decay is the length that it goes down to the sustain level. So if you set a lower level, then decay sets the speed that it goes down to that. Release is the time it takes to fade out after you let go of a note. And attack allows you to create a fade in. Again, I go through all this on my Beginner's Guide to Synthesis course in a lot more detail. So if you're finding any of this confusing, then definitely refer to that course for a much more detailed explanation of amplitude envelopes and filter envelopes and yeah, all of the standard things you get on synthesizers. And the other parameter you have here is hold. Now you won't see this if sustain is turned right up, but if I come right down, then supposing I've got this very brief sound going on now, but I want it to stay at max volume just for a little bit longer when I play a note, rather than just fading out straight away, then I can increase the hold amount. So I could set it to maybe 500 milliseconds, so half a second. Or just a bit briefer, sort of lasting a kind of about the length of your average kick drum. So it just gives you a bit of extra fatness on the transient there so it doesn't fade away so quickly.